Welcome to the Morning Mindset Podcast with me, Craig Skelton. Each day we kick off your morning with positivity, actionable insights and the motivation you need to conquer the day ahead. Whether you're looking to develop a positive mindset, habit of persistence, or simply starting your day on the right foot, this podcast is your daily dose of inspirational and practical advice. Today's episode is about letting go of anger and resentment, which is a key to thriving as a self-employed professional. If you've ever felt that heavy burden of holding on to a grudge, or if anger has ever clouded your judgment in business, you're not alone. These emotions are human, but they can be toxic, especially when you're self-employed. So that's why today we're going to explore why it's so important to let go of these emotions, the benefits of doing so, and the consequences you face if you don't. First of all, let's talk about where resentment comes from, especially in the context of running your own business. As self-employed individuals, we often take on a lot of responsibility. Our businesses are our babies. You heard it so many times. And when things go wrong, whether bailing or ghost or a contract that's not gone, or a new service that's gone sideways, or whatever it is, or someone not appreciating the value you bring, it can feel very personal. After all, in many cases, we are the business. Anger can stem from feeling disrespected, valued, even mistreated, while resentment often when we feel like we've been treated unfairly, taken advantage of, or overlooked. As self-employed professionals, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that holding on to this anger protects us, or that resentment is a way of keeping score. The truth is, these emotions are not productive. They don't help solve problems, and they certainly don't help us move forward. Anger and resentment can feel very powerful in the moment, absolutely actually draining our energy and our focus. So think about it. Every time you revisit that argument with a client, or replay that email in your head, you're losing precious mental bandwidth. And if you're like most people, those thoughts don't just go away on their own. They keep coming back, draining your creativity, focus, and positivity. So let's get into the consequences of holding on to anger and resentment, especially as you're self-employed. The first thing is loss of focus. When you're angry or resentful, your mind keeps drifting back to that situation or person. You're not fully present in the task at hand, and your business can suffer because of that. In a self-employed world where every minute, every second counts, that lack of focus can be very costly. The second thing is damage to client relationships, where anger can leak into your professional interactions. You might become more defensive, less open to feedback, or even more likely to snap. If you're not dealing directly with the person who caused the resentment, that emotional baggage can your relationships with others. The third thing is poor decision making. Anger clouds your judgment. When we're upset, we tend to make more reactive, short-term decisions rather than long-term. For example, you might turn down a potential collaboration because it reminds you of a bad experience you had with somebody else, or worse, you might burn bridges with clients or colleagues that could have been mended if cooler heads had prevailed. The fourth thing is the physical and emotional toll. Anger and resentment aren't just bad for business, they're bad for your health. Stress, high blood pressure, insomnia, all side effects of chronic anger. As a self-employed person, you don't have that luxury of taking a sick day whenever you feel overwhelmed. And if you're not at your best physically and mentally, your business will suffer. And then the next thing is missed opportunities. Perhaps the most subtle but dangerous consequence of holding resentment. It blocks you from new opportunities. When you're stuck in a negative mindset, you're not open to growth, learning, or positive change. You might miss valuable partnerships or creative ideas simply because you're too busy holding on to past grievances. So now we've outlined the cost. Let's talk about the benefits of letting go of anger and resentment. Once you've made that conscious decision to release those emotions, the rewards are immense. The first thing is it gives you mental clarity and focus. When you let go of anger, your mind clears up. You no longer spend time revisiting conflicts. You're able to focus entirely on the present moment, which is where all your power lies. Imagine how being more productive and creative you'd be if you weren't weighed down by those emotions. Then the next thing is better relationships. Letting go allows you to approach relationships, whether it's with clients, partners, colleagues, with a fresh, open mind. You're no longer operating from a place of defense or bitterness, which means you're able to connect more authentically and create a stronger, more meaningful professional relationships. And then it also improves your decision making. When you're not clouded by anger, your decisions become more rational and strategic. You're thinking long term rather than reacting to the emotions of the moment. This can lead to better business opportunities, healthy client relationships, and overall growth of your business. It also enhances your creativity. Creativity thrives when you're in a state of openness and flow, and that's only possible when you've let go of the emotional baggage. If you're looking to innovate or solve problems in your business, letting go of resentment is a crucial step. And then it comes on to the emotional freedom, perhaps the greatest benefit. When you release resentment, you free up so much space for peace and positivity. That's why you became self-employed in the first place, to create a life that feels fulfilling and free. Holding on to your anger is like keeping yourself in emotional handcuffs. Letting go is the key to unlocking true freedom. How do you let go of anger and resentment? The first thing to do is acknowledge your feelings. Don't suppress your anger or resentment. Sit with it and understand where it's coming from. You can journal about it, talk to a trusted friend, or simply reflect on that situation, but don't ignore it. Then the next thing is shift your perspective. Ask yourself, is holding on to this anger helping me? More often than not, the answer is going to be no, but by shifting your perspective and seeing the bigger picture, you can move away from that narrow focus on the wrongdoing. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of carrying negativity, whether it's for a difficult client or even yourself. It's a powerful tool for emotional freedom. And then move on to developing emotional intelligence. The more emotionally intelligent you are, the easier it becomes to let go of negative emotions. Learn to recognize your triggers, manage your responses, and understand that not everything is personal. And then you can move on to meditation and mindfulness. Incorporating practices like mindfulness and meditation into your daily routine can help stay grounded, level-headed, and far less reactive. When you feel emotions arising, take a step back, breathe rather than react. Letting go of anger and resentment is a gift you give yourself. As a self-employed individual, your mindset is one of the most valuable assets, and holding on to negative emotions down and limits your potential. But when you release those emotions, you open yourself up to growth, success, and true emotional freedom. So today, I want you to think about something or someone you've been holding a grudge against. What would it feel like if you let it go? How would that change your business, your relationships, and your peace of mind? So thank you for listening on today's Money Mindset. Remember, it's not just about what you let go of, but about what you gain in return. Stay strong, stay focused. And that's it for today's episode. If you found value in today's episode, please share it, please subscribe, please leave me a review, please like it. I really do appreciate it. And as always, have an amazing day. Stay motivated, stay focused, stay positive, and run your own race.